Good evening, everybody. It's just Heather/Hetty at Alive in Me, and that's my personal. And the one that this always gets posted at a few times is at Epilepsy Cures, all on Twitter. And also my main account that I would love to have many people with epilepsy and many other illnesses is at www.epilepsycures.ning.com, and there is where I also post these and some blogs and music and just talk things out with people. And there's also a chat site on the main page, so whenever you just want to actually instant message and talk things out, you can also do that there. And like I've said before, I'm also on Facebook. My personal account is www.facebook.com/Hetty4Christ. And that's my normal account, and there's also a causes that I have there, and you can also just go directly there if you don't have a Facebook, and that's www.causes.com/epilepsycures, and you'll find all different information from me and other people, and just discussions there. And today I just have, several different bits and pieces of info that I have, gone through in life, and just, wondering what you all, have gone through, and, and or if, you have that information on hand that, that epilepsy can be part of. It's amazing that what doctors, actually, neurologists, won't or don't tell you, and not necessarily intentionally. A lot of the time they're just really looking for the actual question, and a lot of the time we don't actually know to even ask it because we have no clue, what can cause this and what can cause that, and that, oh gosh, epilepsy had to do with this, or the medication had to do with that, or that caused my seizure. And the deal is, it's really kind of humorous, is that every time I fill out a form that asks who is my primary doctor, I always put down my neurologist, because in all honesty, I rarely see my general practitioner. Pretty much everything in my life has to do with epilepsy, and other specialized issues. So I live at over at Mayo Hospital, but the big focus obviously has to do with epilepsy, and so I've always written down my neurologist's name, which I kind of get humor, and he kind of got humor too, I'm sure. But one of the big things was that I ran into earlier, and it's such a huge factor with me, is that what is something that can lower your seizure threshold? What is it? And I've quite a few, and one big one for me is sleep deprivation. It's huge. I have done it many times, and that's from being on Lamictal. Was my first time that I actually hit that, and that's because it kept me up all the time. I could not sleep, gave me insomnia, and it hit, and that was a nightmare. And then the other time was for my restless leg syndrome, and it kept me up over 24 days in a row, when I had to go see another neurologist to figure it out. And so, I'm on a medication for that too. And so sleep deprivation, is a big, thing with me that will cause big seizures, not little ones, not even complex partial, but grand mal seizures with me. I don't drink, but alcohol withdrawal is one, so if you ever do drink, they do say that alcohol withdrawal is another. dehydration I know from my childhood, from being a gymnast when we run, 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 run. Number one, the hyperventilation would be one, but number two, from not having enough water from living in Lake Havasu City at 133 degrees, a little dehydration there. And so that would be another. Malnutrition, that can definitely be on my plate, and I've been lectured a lot for it, because I'm really picky. I have a small menu, and um, and then on top of it, my vitamins don't absorb completely correctly. For some reason, they just go right through. And so there's three that I have, especially one, the iron that has to be infused, and then the B12 that I have to take the sublingual. I used to have to be injected, but now I know I can take the sublingual kind, and that will just disintegrate, and that will go into my system. And then the vitamin D is another high dose I have to take. And when you get sick, have an infection, such as, a severe cold or whatnot, I personally am very grateful to Jesus. I don't get them. It's a very big, rare case that I ever do. But when you do get sick, that's a huge type that you're going to have a low threshold that, your seizures can set in. And then another one is trauma or post-traumatic distress, and that was a big one for me, was after I was beaten by my ex. And, seizures were definitely one that set in. Or when I was going through divorce with him, I remember holding that phone to call the lawyer. And that was a big, definite stress factor, in and out of that. So those are definite. Barbiturate withdrawal. If anyone takes any type of barbiturate, you're definitely going to, not necessarily right away, have a seizure, but I know for a factor you're going to most likely, if you just stop cold turkey, you're probably going to have one, and it's probably going to be a decent high type grand mal. I've been through that several times. And like I've said, hyperventilation was the other. Flashing lights can do with many. It just recently started with me. A lot of times some people get it from the computer screen, and that's another one. Being too much on the computer screen is with me. Certain noises, that's one with me, is with certain music. Reading, just too much, concentrating for too long, you have to let it go. Sometimes I can bring that on. Here's a factor for you. Hormonal is sexual activity, and hormones are a huge factor, and sometimes I can bring it on, and at a certain time of the month is only when that can happen with me. Believe it or not, it's true. And I have just a blessing for a husband who totally just, just loves me up, and just, oh, he's just so sorry. Don't be sorry. He just totally understands, and so it's awesome. And then, certain eating, certain foods can, set it off in certain people. So, sometimes have to be careful with that too. And those are just a few facts for tonight, just to throw your way as to what can set off. I have a very interesting one that I will be, bringing in tomorrow in regards to personality traits, and especially with complex partial seizures. And I'm a pro at that, because that's definitely one of my bigger ones that I have more often. So anyway, I just want to say blessings to all. And I'm actually heading out to take my daughter and niece to a pizza place, and just love you all so very much, and been a busy day, so sorry I haven't seen you on Twitter today, but I will be back tonight, and just love you all dearly, and have a blessed Sunday tomorrow. And so God bless you each and every one, and hope you all are well. Good night.